Hi, I'm Danny Brown and I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and today we are going to talk about, is it still a good time to sell? So yes, it is still a good time to sell, but as a seller you need to temper your expectations a little bit. So the market has shifted and we are no longer in this frenzy that we've been in. It is no longer a seller's market. We are officially in a balanced market, and probably a little bit more in the buyer side just due to the level of demand that's out there and the lack of buyers that are in the market. So, why do I still think it's a good time to sell? Well, you have seen the value of your home appreciate by 60% in some areas over the last 2 years, depending on when you purchased. So your home value is up quite a bit, so you have a lot of unrecognized equity and value in that property. So you're still getting amazing appreciation and amazing sales prices for your home. But what do I mean by temper expectations? Well, you're gonna have longer days on market right now, and so that number continues to increase with each passing day. The average days on market pretty much increases by a day. Sellers now are needing to prep their home in order for it to sell. So it's gotta look nice, it's gotta be clean, you've gotta consider putting a fresh coat of paint up, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, shampoo the floors, if not replace the carpets. All of the stuff that we used to do in order to get a home ready to sell 2-3 years ago, that's all back in style and things that you really need to consider doing in order to sell your home. Professional photos, staging the home properly. Now that doesn't necessarily mean bringing in outside furniture to stage your property, but like we work with a professional interior designer, using your existing furniture to stage your property to show it in the best light possible. Depersonalizing the home, decluttering, all of these things that we've talked about for years, you have to do in order to sell your home in today's market. But you're still getting phenomenal pricing for your property. So the question that I've faced the most over the last 2 years in helping clients is, I would love to sell, but I have no idea where I would go. Well, this is the perfect time for you because now inventory is up. There's a lot of homes on the market, a lot more than there were, and buyer competition is very low right now. So, you can sell your home and find a home to purchase the old way that we used to do it, and it's much easier, a lot less stress, and puts you in a really advantageous position to capitalize on all the equity and value that your home has grown over the last few years, to leverage that into your next purchase, putting down a nice down payment, hopefully making that home a little bit more affordable, keeping in mind they've recognized those gains as well. But it's a much easier process today to sell your home in order to buy that next one. So what is really affecting this level of demand is not really the purchase price per se, it is the monthly payment due to increases in mortgage rates. And so as a seller, a way that you can overcome that to protect your equity, to protect your sales price, is to offer to buy a buyer's rate or mortgage rate down. What that means is you are paying upfront interest on their mortgage to get them a more favorable rate to bring down their monthly payment. Now that is a big win for a seller because the cost to do that is much less than the cost of a price drop. So let's say you use 10 grand to buy a buyer's rate down versus doing a 10 grand price drop. 10 grand price drop on a monthly payment that's amortized over 30 years is negligible at best. But if you're buying that rate down, it is a substantial shift in what their monthly payment is, depending on the price point. And I am right now, for our sellers, recommending that we advertise that in the public remarks of the MLS so that the buyers can see it, and based on their list price of the home, advertise it in the photo section of the MLS. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad agents out there and a lot of new agents too, who don't understand this system of buying a rate down. So what we're expressing, and what I recommend all of you do, is get your listing agent to advertise this in the public remarks, and then also put a graphic in the photo section showing what that will do to a buyer's monthly payment. So rather than doing price drops, you're offering less money to greatly impact their monthly payment. And by the way, you don't have to have the cash on hand to buy a buyer's rate down. This is going to come from your proceeds, right? So you've seen 60% gains in your valuation. Well, you're going to give a small fraction of those gains to the buyer to buy their rate down. So you really don't notice that impact, where the buyer feels it quite a bit. Now, if you're selling in order to buy, the same scenario works when you go to purchase, right? So you can do the same thing, and then you're just gaining back what you gave to the buyer. You're probably gaining even more because most people sell into a more expensive house. So, asking for 3% in concessions when you're selling your home that's priced at $400,000, say you're moving into a $600,000 home and you're asking for 3% in concessions, you're actually coming out ahead. So by selling now in order to purchase a more expensive home and doing this scenario, you can do it on the back end as well, because you are now a buyer in this more favorable market. So selling in this shifting market, temper your expectations, do the work to get your home ready to sell, and just recognize that you're going to have longer days on market, and try and get creative, because there are homes that are selling every day to buyers, normal buyers. You just have to think outside the box some. It's not all about price drops. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, definitely let us know. And in the meantime, give us a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.